Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Life on the Hulls, and I'm Ross. I've built a 42-foot catamaran right here in the yard here, and it's been a crazy couple of weeks and I think I'm missing something. We have a lot to tell you guys, a lot. We are currently on the water. We've got so much to show you before we actually get it on the water. A lot of work to be done and it was quite harrowing to say the least. And yesterday we launched her. We've got so much work to do and there is so much coming up. So stay tuned and let's get into it. I've cracked out the laser to determine the forward cowling. I've actually leveled it here with the back, which I've actually already shaped, but the front, because it was an offcut off the actual deck, is not going to be level, and I don't want this hanging down much more than the back, so I want to try to make the whole thing pretty much flat so that this brow doesn't create too much of a vision impedance for me. But you can see here I've got a line here. I'm actually just making a mark along here. I'm going to have to grind this off at some point. It doesn't have to be done today, but certainly I do need to get the sides done because this needs to be laminated over. Once I laminate over this to strengthen it and obviously to build it out, I need to make sure that it's going to all be level. I don't want to laminate and then have to cut through it and then do it again. You can see it here. It's actually just touching down here and it's looking pretty good along this side here, but it is actually touching right here, so this part's okay. And then along the front of it I've got a line all the way across there, so I'll mark that up and then I'll be able to trim that later on. Thought I'd get the whole bloody thing done. I'm heading up to Wollongong, about an hour north, to have dinner with Sam and Veronica. I haven't seen them pretty much since the wedding, so time to go up and have dinner with them, and I'm going to head off early tonight. But I've done all of the supporting stringers on this hardtop. Got them all laminated in. They're looking absolutely superb. That's as smooth as a baby's bum, so I'm going to get to basically fair that in pretty simply. Tomorrow I'll come in and I'll actually get all the perimeter of the inside done. I can't finish it until I flip it over, and then I'm going to have to flip it over again so that I can wrap this completely all the way round. I'll see how I go with that. I do have a little bit of tidying up to do, but yeah, that's looking really nice. As you can see here, I've left, it's a piece of plastic under there. It's actually a cutout of an ice cream container, and that is where the conduit wires can run. And I'll do the same thing down on the other ends there once I open them up, but basically allowing for me to access wiring all the way through this hardtop next morning. And this is all set up, so beautiful, and that's actually ready for fairing. That's pretty simple and it looks as smooth as, which is really lovely. What I've done is I've actually cut all of this edge trim. This is 400 double bias and just an aerolite surfboard cloth to wrap around the combing of the hard top all the way round. So I'll get that laminated up now, and then I can start to work on the actual front and the top side as well. I'll probably paint it before I flip it over. In fact, I'm thinking that I might do a layer of gel coat and then some textured flow coat on the underside of this to match the hard top. I was thinking about Raptor, but to be honest, I think the textured flow coat's actually going to work a bit better on this one. Let's talk about how we're going to see the sails, and especially with such a large hardtop, I want to be able to look up, see the boom, see the sails. You know, obviously not so worried about the telltales, but just the shape of the sail is going to become more and more important as I grow into this boat and it grows on me. So I've got some leftover polycarbonate that came from when I did the windows, and I intend to put that into the roof of the hardtop. And the only thing is I've actually got to put it on the inboard side so that we can see up through the roof there. And I also want to leave enough real estate on this side, on the port side of this roof, for a large set of solar panels. And this will take a 1 meter wide hard panel on the top here, or soft panel, or whatever we decide to go with. Probably more likely to have hard panels on our hardtop, given the fact that they're just far more efficient and last longer, etc. So this is the center line. I was actually going to have it in the center, but given that solar panel idea, I do want to leave the entire port outboard side of this roof free for a solar panel, just giving me yet another region for shading and the like. So that's the center line. This is the polycarbonate, and I intend to have rounded edges on it. But what I'm going to do is build it in from the top, not from the bottom. So I'll have to cut this hole out, and then I have to build a rim around the outside of it, and then route the edge so that this fits recessed into it and doesn't collect water. So there's quite a bit of work to be done there. You ready?
I will be when you take the nuts out.
Okay. Right. Got our gunnel strip in place, and Janet's trying to flow coat all the robes. And of course the nuts and bolts are coming through into the robes, and I need to undo them, so they're in here, and those 3 nuts have to come off before she can finish the flow coating. So I'll get a spanner. Doing a great job, Darren. Awesome. Do you want a light?
Well, I had light and just stuck it.
Oh, good point. Look, I'm blocking the sun here. Doing a great job. Look at these beautiful finished out wardrobes. Pretty happy to see that. Oh, it's pongy in here. Whew. Better get out of here. Yep, I'm out of here. Well done, Darren. Well done. Right, this place looks like a bomb's hit it today. I've just got 1,000 things going on today. I've got stuff happening all over the place. I've got the pulpits, I've got the base plates, I've got the davits going on. We've got all the stainless nuts and bolts for doing all of our fittings. And after Janet and I spent nearly a day and a half the other day measuring all of the nuts and bolts to make sure I get the correct bolt lengths, and then some. And then I spent another night ordering it all, and it's all arrived yesterday. So I've started fitting everything, and I've made up some base plates and a whole heap of reinforcing pucks to go underneath the pulpits, which I've got here, and it's all going on. Janet, we call in the big guns with the long arms. Where's Zach when we need him? Zach's got a foot longer than mine. I can barely reach, so I'm in here flow coating with a stick and a brush, so don't expect a quality job. And then Janet will take over when I've done the hard bit.
Always wants to film when he's doing work.
Yeah.
Never films me.
It's very complicated, the friggin' painting here.
The rest has got a half mask on, and I've got a full mask on.
Burning my eyes here.
Of course it is off, that's why you want to pull that. I'll get you some glasses.
I only ever get called in for the tough jobs, and then Janet just takes over the easy jobs. I wouldn't have called it easy. It's a son of a bugger of a job, isn't it? It's an absolute bugger of a job. Every time you move your hand, you cut your hand on the bloody, cut your glove on the edges. But yeah, nice to have that little compartment all flow coated there. Get on with it. Don't stop laughing at me. I'm just happy for you to do it, because I don't have to do it. I think I've dislocated my shoulder actually trying to get that. Won't be helping with your shoulders either, will it? No, you're doing a great job though. Actually good. At least you're laying down on the job. Alright, Janet's been very busy. She has finished flow coating out all of our robes, which is just awesome to have all of these guys done. Pretty much everything is now flow coated out, and including this one here. I had to put a bulkhead in to this cabinet the other day, but she's done this, and what I've got to do is just put a timber fiddle on the front. That's still wet from this morning, but nice to get all these robes looking nice and white, and we're going to give them a quick buff with some polishing compound and not do anything more because we don't really think it's necessary inside robes. And all of these ones are done as well, so pretty much. Oh, this one's full of all my bits and pieces, but yeah, nice to have them all whited out and ready for a fiddle on the front, and then they're considered complete, so pretty happy with that. I've got a lot of trim work to do now, but that's sort of not pressing. The pressing need right now is to just get all of the main systems done. So we're getting all of the davits we fitted this morning. They're basically all bolted in, and I just have to loosen them off, put sand underneath where they're mounting, put some Fixtech 15 or something on there, glue them back in place, and then we'll be able to put those 6 retaining bolts in with all the base plates that I've put in underneath. I've actually noticed a lot of production boats are just using big washers to hold things in place. I've actually gone a little bit overboard and made base plates for all of the areas like where the stanchions come through, and made sure that they're all really super secure. And up on the pulpits up the front, I've made these big solid glass base plates to basically secure everything in place. But yeah, no, it's good to have a few more things done. The list certainly isn't diminishing. It seems to be getting worse, to be honest. But it's worked out quite well. I've done quite a bit. We've actually put a textured edge on the stern hatches here and pretty much finished these up, and this has come up really well. I've actually done a hard wearing textured edge on here, and Janet's already walked on it, so it's already dirty, but at least now I can give it a buff and get that complete. Put the new hinges in place, and I've actually rebaited them in, and yeah, the place looks like a bomb's in it today. As soon as Janet gets involved, there's a mess. About 12 months ago, I put in these stainless uprights. In fact, I think it was right about 12 months ago, PK was here welding these up for me. We installed them probably about 6 months before that and sort of had them all dry fitted, ready for him to come in and weld up, and now they're all welded up and basically ready to go. I've now got to polish them, and they have a pretty much a raw finish on them, so they do need to be polished. And you can see here it's still got a bit of a brush finish on it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to get my polisher, which is down here, and it's just an angle grinder polisher. I think it's about $40 item on Temu. I think I got that from. I could have bought a physical polisher and they're about $300, but this has several Scotch-Brite belts. I've got a medium belt, and I've also got the fine belt, and then we go down to wax and polish. But they're pretty grubby, and they've had a lot of a lot of use basically with me climbing up and down. There's a bit of gel coat on them and whatever else, so I've just got to get all of that off and try to get them polished to a mirror finish like we've got here. And I've still got a couple of welds to deal with here, but the main body of them polished up, and then I can start to think about getting these welds finished up in here, and then we can start to assemble the whole thing. I've got all these brand new stainless bolts that we've just bought. Spent a fortune on 316G stainless, marine stainless, and essentially I'm going to put nylock nuts here. I've got some anti-galling paste to put on the threads, because nylock and thread and the threads obviously don't like each other, so we don't want that to gall up, because if that galled up there I'd have to grind a whole lot off and make a big mess. But for now I'll get these uprights polished, and that's just another job out of the way. The difference in the finish, just in using that medium Scotch-Brite. I mean, I used to hand wet sand these bloody things, but this is already a raw finish, so you don't have to go. If you're going from straight steel or a rusty scale finish, and you'd have to start working through your papers, I'd imagine, before, or at least flap disc it. With this, it already had a nice raw finish, but the difference just already in one polish is marked. That's mirror, And obviously I was able to buy this in Mirror. I wasn't able to buy this. In fact, I got this dirt cheap from our Zach. But this has been absolutely brilliant. It's now what I'd call a sort of a polish or a brush finish. And we'll work through the belts and go through the medium belt here next, which is the next level. And then I'm going to get down to the wax with the soap wax and felt grinding disc, obviously, and then we'll go on to calico to get it to a mirror finish. So there's quite a process involved in this, but you know, the difference between this finish here and this one over here is already absolutely amazing. So I'm going to keep on working on it. I'm really, really happy with that. It's seriously starting to look like the business. I was working away feverishly here, and a guy came in and bumped into me. He's back.
Hello.
Zach.
Hello, loyal Life on the Holes fans.
Yes, that's it. Zach knocked on the door. I did know he was coming. I wasn't sure he'd be here, but he just arrived in time to put it into work, just to help me flip over this hardtop so I could start working on top. You're only up for the week, ain't you, mate?
Yeah.
Celebrate family birthdays, and he's checking out the progress, which is really, really cool. So we're going to flip this hardtop over and so I can work on the window, and then I'm going to get into painting the whole thing, which is just superb. Good on you, Zach. Lovely. Great to have you back. I've also sicked him onto some of my hydraulic problems as well. I don't think you really realised what he was coming home for, and I do need his long arms at some point, but hopefully we'll get into the hydraulic problem first.
Once we put it down.
This is light, isn't it?
So light.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to
Yeah.
walk down there and then, oh wow, that's huge. I can't believe how light it is. And this is all going to be textured. Yeah, that's spot on. Oh, cool. Like that. Should be able to sit it on these bricks.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I've been working hard to make sure it was done for when you arrive, but that is massive.
It was only about a week ago I got a photo of the cardboard mock-up.
Yeah.
And I fly in and it's already done.
He did actually say to me, oh, it'll be done by the time I get there. And I thought, oh, well, I'll run out of time. Cool, thanks, Zach. That's brilliant. That's brilliant news. So I've got the window cut out. And the reason why the window's over to this side is so you can look up at the sails, but I've left enough real estate here to put a big 400-watt solar panel.
Nice. So
my third region, that's what I'm aiming for, is a third solar region. So cool. Thank you, mate. That's brilliant. And go and sort out my problem.
hydraulics.
Sorry, mate. Don't do it now. Hydraulic steering. Have I got a dilemma? I have been racking my brain with a solution for our hydraulic steering, and of course, to the rescue.
This is the bag of solutions.
Oh, mate.
They said it couldn't be done.
I say it couldn't be done, and other people have said it couldn't be done.
Music to my ears.
I drove 2 hours north the other day, spent an hour and a half in a place where they have every brass fitting under the sun, and do you think they could solve it? And they then wanted to charge me $1,000 to retool the machine to cut a thread to suit our Garmin autopilot. Zach's gone in half an hour. He reckons he's got a solution, so let's check it out.
We're about to find out.
The problem we've got is we've got an Imperial, bloody American designed, I guess, system with, that's an ORB fitting,
Yep.
ORB 5, and we have to get it down to a 3/8 BSP fitting.
Oh, nice and quiet now.
Yeah, that's lovely. So we've got problems. We've got to get it down to our 1/2-inch flared copper fitting, which is this guy here.
This side
which,
here.
it's a 45-degree flared fitting underneath that mount there. We have to somehow get from this to that, and it's been a nightmare. And then the second thing is our shadow drive, which is our assistant to the autopilot, or a sensor, and we have to get that hooked up. And he reckons he's got the answer, and I don't believe him, but I believe him.
Here we go.
I believe him. All right, let's do it. Let's explain it.
So, BSP into, this is a BSP
Coupling.
coupling, yeah.
Yep.
This is what? Quarter NPT to 3/8 NPT
Yeah.
adapter.
Yep. Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep. Now that fits in there. I'm gonna be.
That won't go in there, but
No.
through this, because before we were using these.
That's a C-star fitting.
Yeah.
An ORB5 adjustable C-star fitting.
And these are actually, we'll take out the bungs here and plug these ports, so they'll go here.
Yep.
You ready?
Yep. Oh, just
like that.
seriously. Oh, is that going to be put in there? Yes, perfect. So that means I can run the pipe down here and get it away. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I can't run it up here because it'll be up through the bed, up through a mattress.
Correct. But those are the same threads as that. So you can see that works.
Oh, delighted. Absolutely superb. Right. And this item here is called a shadow drive. And a lot of them install them, and what that means is that you can just touch the wheel and it'll automatically turn the autopilot off. And then if you let go of the wheel, it'll actually turn it back on again. So the problem we've got with that is it's a 1/4 NPT thread.
Yep.
And we weren't able to get a fitting to fit that, but it looks like he's got one. We might have to machine it though, do we? Or
nope.
Really?
What do we do? So go.
Yep.
Borrow that one there.
Oh, champion. Absolute
do that on
champion.
both sides.
Yep.
And we're good to go.
Spot on. Mate, I'm so impressed. It's so worth flying up from Tasmania just for that. I'm so excited about that. So that is brilliant,
and
mate.
That's the last bit of the steering. Once that's in, then you can go in and tighten everything.
So what's really important about this hydraulic is you're not to use thread tape, because thread tape ultimately could disintegrate and end up in your hydraulic system and block valves and whatever else. You have to use Loctite to lock all these threads together. So that's been my problem. I could have easily thread taped and bunged something in, but what I think Zach's discovered is that the threads are very similar with BSP and MPT at 3/8.
At 3/8, apparently they pretty much cross over. Where if you try 1/4 to 1/4, but you'll see the threads won't even fit together.
The thread pitch is the issue, isn't it?
And the sharpness of the thread and things like that. But at certain measurements, they actually cross over, and you can use the same couplers.
Mate, so excited about that. I'm stoked, Zach.
That's good.
You cannot believe how happy I am. Well, look at that. That could have been this long, but I'm going to have to make another piece of copper, but at least I can get it all fitted in. I haven't Loctited any of this system in until we resolve this problem, and I did actually go to a local hose manufacturer, and that was in May. It's now the middle of August, and 3 months later, or it's actually the end of August, over 3 months, it has taken this guy to even get around to even looking at it, and he hasn't come up with a solution. So we came up with a better solution, and it's always you, Zach. I don't know why, but it's always you. It's just because I ask.
Yes.
Because you're just Johnny on the spot. Well done. So excited about that. That is brilliant. Thank you, Zach. You can go back to Tassie, and I'll see you at the end of next week.
All right.
Right, nick off. Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
Brilliant.